Hello everybody, Jardis here, and in today's video I'm going to be doing a request from my Kurt Cobain, who had requested a core condition Revenant build. Now, before I get into this, I do need to point out that this will not be the greatest core condition build a Revenant can achieve. However, it is one that I find rather enjoyable, and I hope you do as well. You can use this build as is after I've described it, or you can use it as a template to start in case you have your own ideas for a build. Okay, so what we are going to be using in terms of equipment is we are going to be using the KOSS set, KOSS, which is power, precision, and condition damage. Now we will also be using the superior rune of tormenting, which I am aware at the time of this recording is a bit pricey, so please be aware of that. The reason why we want the tormenting is because of the fact that almost a lot of the condition damage that we will be doing with this build will revolve around torment. We will also be doing some other forms of conditions as well as such as chill, poison, and vulnerability, but torment will be our primary condition damage. For our weapons, we will be using a Rampager mace and a Rampager axe with superior sigils of torment and malice. Again, rather pricey sigils, so please keep that in mind. Now for the trinkets, we will be using the Coral Orichalcum set, which is power, precision, and condition damage as well. Now for the build itself, we will be going Corruption, Invocation, and Devastation. For Corruption, we are going 1, 1, 3. For Invocation, we are going 2, 2, 2. And for Devastation, we are going 3, 3, 3. Okay, back up to Corruption. We are doing Acolyte of Torment because it increases our torment damage. Again, this will be the primary focus of this build. For the Abyssal Chill, when you chill a foe, you will also inflict torment on them. Well, believe it or not, we actually will have a bunch of chilling skills. So therefore,
consume you from within.
Only if I'm already dead.
I'm sorry, I do apologize for that. That demon can be so rude. Anyway, as I was saying, that we will have a lot of chill effects. Therefore, we will be dealing even more torment onto our enemies. And then finally, we're going to be using Permeating Pestilence. Invoking Torment transfers conditions from you onto your foes. Well, what is Invoke Torment? Invoke Torment is actually this base skill right here. Basically what it is that whenever we switch legends, we will be using a AoE effect, which will deal torment, but anything caught in that burst will also be getting conditions from us, therefore adding more conditions onto our enemies. Now for the invocation, we are going Raising Tide. While your health is above the threshold, your strike damage dealt is increased. Basically, this is just a damage dealing buff, as long as we are above 75% health. We are using Rapid Flow. Heal yourself and gain swiftness when you use a skill that has an energy cost. Well, believe it or not, a lot of our skills will have an energy cost, so therefore this is more of a survivability trait, keeping our health up. And then finally, we're using Charged Mist. Invoking a legend while at or below the energy threshold grants extra energy to your new legend. Basically what that is if I move this up here, is this bar right here. This is the energy cost. If we are below below 10% when we switch our legends, we will be getting an extra buff to our energy pool here. Okay, now for Devastation, we are going straight across the bottom here for Battle Scarred. Siphon health after using a healing skill. Basically, what this does is that when we use a healing skill, we'll gain Battle Scars, which basically says that our attack steals health from our enemies. So this is, again, another self-sustaining ability. And then we are using Thrill of the Combat as well as Dance of Death because these two skills combo very nicely with Battle Scarred. For example, Thrill of Combat gains stacks of Battle Scars while we are in combat. Basically what this does is that this increases the amount of stacks of Battle Scars we have while we are in combat, so we don't have to rely on using just a healing skill in order to get Battle Scars. And then finally, Dance of Death. Applying vulnerability to foes grants stacks of Battle Scars. The healing from Battle Scars is increased while you are below the health threshold. What this does is that if we inflict vulnerability onto our enemies, we get even more stacks of Battle Scars. Plus, regardless of how many stacks of Battle Scars we have, the healing effect of Battle Scars is increased when we are below a certain health threshold, regardless of how many stacks we have. So this just makes Battle Scars healing more effective. Okay, and just so you know, for the legends we will also be using the Demon stance and the secondary of the Dwarf stance. Now, normally at this point I would point out what selectable skills we will be using. However, they are predetermined by what legends we will be using. But I do have to point out that while we are in the Demon stance, the ones that we will be focused on most will be the Call of Anguish, the Banished Encampment, and the Embrace the Darkness. The reason for these is because Call of Anguish as well as Banished Enchantment both inflict chill, which will have the Abyssal Chill effect take place. And this one basically inflicts even more torment and additional torment depending on how long we have it, while we have the enemies in the affected range. Now, to show you how this build works, I am currently in the New Keneg City, south of Garden Heights Waypoint. This is all part of End of Dragons expansion. And I am going to be going after this hero point that you see just below me. Now, a side note before I get into this hero point is repeatable, so that if for some reason the New Keneg event completer is a daily, you can repeat this hero point 4 times to get that completed. So, what we're going to do is we're going to go down here, we're going to talk to this person, and we're going to initiate this hero point, and I'm going to show you how this build runs.
Eat my dust!
Now, as you can see, I've already gotten 10 plus tormenting on our target here, which is the whole point of this build.
Refreshing.
Now, when our energy is down, we're going to want to switch our legends up so that we build up our energy so we can use more of our skills, because our weapon skills, especially such as the primary mace here, Axe 5, as well as Mace 3, all inflict tormenting. We want to keep as much torment on our enemies as possible. And as you can see, that did not last very long. Anyway, that is how this build runs. I hope you enjoyed. Again, feel free to use this build as is or as a starting point for your own ideas. And I will see you again in the next video. Happy gaming!